She had texted me a little bit earlier about a question that I think is a very good question, and we kind of touched on it a bit tonight in the reading and a bit in our practice, and that is, what is the difference between this concept of nirvana in Buddhism and enlightenment? Is that right, Marie? Is that kind of what we're wanting to kind of explore a bit in the time we have left? And um, both of them speak to what we've been talking about, the farther shore, this notion of the farther shore, that um, that we reach a place where perhaps we no longer need the forms of our practice, and we're able to let the raft go and abide in a more permanent state uh, as the fruits of our practice. So largely the qualities associated with nirvana, this this concept in Buddhism, and many people might ask, well, what is that? And what does that have to do with what we're doing and with our practice? And largely nirvana is seen to be the state in which our mind, our awareness, is wholly unconditioned, that there are no longer conditions coming together and influencing what we might call a mind of illusion or a mind of clinging and grasping, but largely a mind that is free of all of those things and rooted in clear, open awareness. That the state of nirvana is no longer being pulled by all of those patterns, the patterns and the reactivity and the need to respond, the need to clutch, the need to reject. All of those things are seen to be conditioned patterns of mind. And so when the mind is largely abiding in an unconditioned way, then that state is called nirvana. It's free, it's open. And uh, often that can be synonymous with, in Buddhism, what we call emptiness. The two are not different, but they emphasize different aspects. So whereas nirvana is sort of this more open quality of unconditioned awareness, emptiness is more the absence of those conditions, openness, fundamental, clear openness. It's not nothingness, and that often gets mistranslated, this quality of shunya or shunyata or emptiness. And this will be a discussion for another time, but largely nirvana is that sort of synonym for emptiness in many ways. Enlightenment is pretty much the same thing, but it's something, first of all, that can't be spoken of. It's a direct experience of nirvana, of emptiness, that is longer lasting. It becomes a place where we have truly and fully been transformed, and there is no more older self that is constantly being buffeted around by the reactivity and the aversions and the things, the grasping and the pain and the pleasure. We're no longer bound by those things. Does that make sense? So enlightenment is much more of, I think, an abiding quality. And some people don't like that word. Many people will use awakening or freedom, all of that. I personally like the word enlightenment because it has light in it. And that is a fundamental experience of this quality that we call awakening. It is a luminous, radiant quality. Luminous is this mind brightly shining, free of all attachments. That's what the Buddha teaches us in the Lankavatara Sutra. And that's exactly why. It's that quality. So when we talk about nirvana, we're in essence talking about the essence of enlightenment, the essence of shunyata, which is also a Buddhist term, or the essence of satori in Zen Buddhism. Satori is similar quality, but it's almost an instantaneous flash of insight, a flash of suchness that may arise spontaneously in our meditation practice, or if we're out in the world and letting go, just able to abide in this sense of flow and openness. So many of these terms really mean the same thing. It's a question of, to what degree are we abiding here in this way? Have we been transformed? Have we realized, self-realization, another term? There are many words for largely the same thing, but emphasizing slightly different qualities. Realization coming into a full awareness, a realization of who we are. But it doesn't mean it's separate from enlightenment. It doesn't mean it's separate from nirvana or emptiness. Because ultimately we realize that we are empty.